Imagine a city where some people sleep inside a wooden box barely bigger than their body. Yet the subway trains here run with an on-time rate of 99.9%. That is Hong Kong, one of the most fascinating contradictions in all of Asia. Sitting on the southern coast of China, Hong Kong covers just about 1,100 square kilometers, and nearly 80% of that land is mountains or protected forest. With a population of around 7.5 million people packed into what little space is left, it has become one of the most densely populated places on Earth. To put it in perspective, the entire city is no larger than a single county in the United States or a mid-sized city in Europe. Yet it holds the tallest and thickest skyline of skyscrapers anywhere in the world. And what makes this tiny territory so intriguing is not just its density or wealth, but the strange blend of extremes. It is not a country, yet it feels like one. It is outrageously expansive, yet incredibly efficient. It is full of strict laws, deep-rooted superstitions, and a hidden underworld that shaped its culture. This is why Hong Kong keeps drawing in travelers, not only to witness its glittering lights, but to uncover the paradoxes that define its soul. Living in a box. Coffin homes and pipe apartments. Would you pay rent for what is basically a wooden drawer just big enough to fit your body? In Hong Kong, that is a reality for thousands of people. Property prices here are among the highest in the world, which has given rise to the infamous coffin homes. Each space measures only 1 or 2 square meters, barely enough to lie down and hang a few clothes. To cope with the housing crunch, some architects have even introduced concrete pipe apartments. Each unit is around 10 square meters, stacked like giant Lego blocks, complete with a bed, shelves, and Wi-Fi. The price is much cheaper than a standard apartment, making it a last resort but also a practical option for many young workers. Think about it. In the United States or Europe, a space this size would be used as a storage unit. But in Hong Kong, it becomes your bedroom, your study, and your whole world. Imagine walking through a corridor so narrow that only one person can pass, sharing a single bathroom with dozens of neighbors, or spending decades of your life inside a space no larger than a bunk bed. For many, this is not a temporary stop, but an entire lifetime of compromise. So let me ask you, how long could you endure living in just 10 square meters if it meant earning a high salary and chasing big opportunities in a city like this? A city that runs like a Swiss watch, world-class transportation, stressed about being late. In Hong Kong, that almost never happens. Trains arrive every 2 to 4 minutes during rush hour, and the system boasts an on-time rate of nearly 100%. The MTR network spreads across the entire territory, linking Hong Kong Island, Kowloon, the New Territories, and even the airport. In just 20 to 25 minutes, you can glide from the heart of the city straight to your departure gate. The experience is more than just speed. It is a kind of order that feels comforting, like every cog in a giant machine turning in perfect sync. You know exactly when the next train will come, and that sense of certainty shapes daily life. And Hong Kong does not stop at efficiency. It experiments with creativity too. One company even runs a 5-hour sleep bus, designed not to take you anywhere in particular, but to give exhausted locals a chance to nap with eye masks, blankets, and the soft hum of the city rolling by. It is a mix that feels unique. The speed of Japan, the precision of Germany, and a touch of Hong Kong-style innovation all rolled into one. So here is a question. Would you actually pay for a bus ticket, not to reach a destination, but just to fall asleep while the neon lights of the city pass by your window? Sunday for 1/8 of the city. Migrant domestic helpers. Picture this. On Sundays, the parks, sidewalks, and open spaces of Hong Kong transform into one giant living room. Mats spread across the ground, groups singing karaoke, friends laughing over card games, and people napping under the flyovers. It looks like a street festival, but in reality, it is the only day off for hundreds of thousands of domestic helpers. Roughly 1 in every 8 people in Hong Kong is a live-in domestic worker, most from the Philippines and Indonesia. They earn around $600 to $700 a month. And that covers cooking, cleaning, childcare, and elder care. Since they live with their employers, privacy is rare, and rest is even rarer. Sunday becomes their one true moment of freedom. In many countries, hiring full-time help is a luxury reserved for the wealthy. But here, it is often the cheaper option compared to private childcare or elder services. What feels like a privilege elsewhere becomes almost normal in Hong Kong's middle-class life. For the workers, this single day means everything. They gather in public, not because they want to, but because many do not have a room of their own. The city's streets turn into a space to breathe, to share stories, and to hold on to their culture. It is a ritual of resilience wrapped in laughter and music. So what do you think? Is this a rare opportunity that gives them dignity and income? Or is it a tough trade-off where freedom is sacrificed 6 days a week for a single day of release? Independent women and late marriages. By the age of 30, many women in Hong Kong have never even been on a serious date. In a city that prizes ambition and independence, women here entered the workforce early, built careers, and learned to handle every expense on their own. The result is one of the highest rates of single women in Asia, with the average age of marriage hovering around 29 to 30. Some women choose to freeze their eggs, keeping their options open while waiting for a partner they feel is truly worthy. Others look beyond local men and marry foreigners from China, the United States, the United Kingdom, or South Korea. Matchmaking agencies are booming, often fully booked on Valentine's Day, while dating apps take a back seat. Think of it like the stock exchange. The standards are set high, and everyone is searching for an equal partner who can keep up. Men often feel intimidated standing beside women who earn more, while women resist lowering their expectations after building a life of independence. The market is there, but the deals rarely close. This creates a unique social tension. On one side, the pride of being self-reliant. On the other, the challenge of finding balance between success and companionship. It is both empowering and isolating, and it shapes an entire generation's view of love. So let me ask you, if your partner earned far more than you, would you feel proud to walk beside them? Or would you quietly feel the pressure of comparison? The city's identity. Superstitions and strange laws. A skyline filled with glass towers. Yet before making a big decision, many locals still visit a temple to shake a bamboo cylinder for a fortune stick. That is Hong Kong, where skyscrapers and superstition live side by side. People here believe in rituals like villain hitting, where an effigy of an enemy is beaten with a shoe to drive away bad luck. The fear of the number 4 runs so deep that entire floors vanish from elevators. You will see floor 3 jump straight to floor 5, and buildings avoid 14, 24, even 44. And then there are the laws, which feel just as unusual. Feeding pigeons in public can earn you a fine. Paying with too many coins is restricted. If your dog barks too often, you may face penalties. At Ocean Park, one of the city's main attractions, swearing is strictly forbidden. Even shouting to sell goods at a street market is against the law. It is a city of sharp contrasts. One half feels like Silicon Valley with its modern efficiency, the other half like an old street shrine where unseen rules still hold power. Order, cleanliness, and calm are valued more than loud bargaining or free-spirited noise. So what do you think? Are these rules frustrating limits on freedom? Or are they worth it if they keep a crowded city disciplined and livable? Not a country. History, and the one country, two systems model. Hong Kong has its own currency, its own passport, and even its own legal system. Yet, it is not an independent nation. The story begins as a small fishing village on China's southern coast. In the 19th century, after the Opium Wars, the territory was ceded to Britain and transformed under more than a century of colonial rule. Western education, government, and culture took root, mixing with Chinese traditions to create something unique. In 1997, Hong Kong was officially handed back to China, but instead of simply becoming like any other Chinese city, it was allowed to operate under the principle of one country, two systems. The idea was simple. Hong Kong would belong to China, but still keep its own economy, laws, and social framework for 50 years. Think of it as a small country tucked inside a bigger house, with its own rules but still under the same roof. This arrangement explains why Hong Kong feels so different from mainland China, and why its identity is often described as a blend of East and West. This fusion has given Hong Kong both strength and struggle. It is a place where British-style courts stand beside Taoist temples, and where global finance coexists with street markets selling incense. But here is the question. Do you think this one country, two systems model gives Hong Kong the edge to thrive? Or does it only add more contradictions to a city already full of paradoxes? Hong Kong nights. The streets become home. After 8 in the evening, Hong Kong transforms. The streets, markets, and malls turn into one giant shared living room where millions come out to eat, shop, and play. Space at home is small, so the city itself becomes the real home once the sun sets. Walk through Mongkok, and you will find entire streets devoted to a single theme. One sells nothing but goldfish, another is packed with flowers, and the ladies' market overflows with clothes, gadgets, and souvenirs. Step inside a shopping mall, and it feels like a city within the city, with restaurants, cinemas, gyms, libraries, and even art theaters under one roof. You could spend an entire night inside and never run out of things to do. And then comes the food. The culture of xiu ye, or late-night eating, is everywhere. After 10 p.m., locals gather in dim sum shops, noodle stalls, or tiny snack stands to share a meal before heading home. It is as if the city gets a second wind once the day's work is over. For those who love nightlife, Lan Kwai Fong is legendary. It is the party hub with over 100 bars and clubs where people dance, drink, and celebrate until sunrise. On holidays and festivals, the entire street turns into one massive party with music and costumes filling the air. In Hong Kong, the rhythm is clear. Daytime is for work, nighttime is for life. So let me ask you, which team are you on? Do you head home early? Or are you the kind who stays out and lets the neon lights guide you deep into the night? Shadows that still echo, secret societies and the underworld. In Hong Kong, even a funeral can feel like the biggest gathering of the underground world. For decades, secret societies known as triads stretched their influence far beyond gambling and smuggling. At their peak, they even dipped into the film industry, shaping the tough guy image that defined Hong Kong cinema. By the late 1990s, government crackdowns hit hard, and their public power faded. Many former members shifted into legal businesses, opening restaurants, clubs, or security firms. Yet the echoes remain. At the funeral of a once powerful figure, crowds gather, familiar faces return, and the police quietly observe, filming and taking notes from the sidelines. It is like a shadow that follows the neon glow. The city's glamorous nightlife and iconic movies cannot fully erase the darker stories beneath. So what do you think? Has the bright image of Hong Kong cinema blurred out the underworld? Or has it in fact amplified its legend for the world to see? Chilling boundaries. The Asylum and the Bride's Pool. A city known for finance and skyscrapers is also a city of ghost stories. One of the most infamous places is the old Sai Ying Pun Psychiatric Hospital, nicknamed the Insane House. Though abandoned for years, locals claim that screams can still be heard at night. Shadows in white gowns appear at windows, and eerie footsteps echo through empty halls. Paranormal teams who left recorders inside captured strange knocks, whispers, and even the smell of disinfectant lingering in deserted rooms. Then there is Bride's Pool, a beautiful waterfall in the northeast, surrounded by forest. By day, it is a picture of peace. By night, legend takes over. Centuries ago, a young bride fell to her death here on her wedding day. Hikers say they hear sobs in the darkness or see a figure in a white wedding dress standing near the water, vanishing as they get closer. Some even report their compasses spinning and phones malfunctioning as they approach. This is where science meets belief, and where urban legends take on a life of their own. So tell me, would you dare to trek through Bride's Pool at night, knowing the stories that still haunt the place? Must-see icons of Hong Kong. A single ride on the Peak Tram can feel like flipping through an entire album of memories. As the vintage carriage climbs its steep track, the city slowly spreads out beneath you, until Victoria Peak reveals the most famous view in all of Hong Kong. From the Sky Terrace 428, you can take in the skyline, Victoria Harbour, and the endless forest of skyscrapers glowing like jewels. Cross the water to Tsim Sha Tsui, and you find the Avenue of Stars, a seaside promenade honoring cinema legends like Bruce Lee and Leslie Cheung. Here, the entire Hong Kong Island skyline becomes your backdrop. Stay until 8 in the evening, and you will witness the Symphony of Lights, a massive light and music show that transforms the skyline into a stage seen by thousands each night. And of course, there is Victoria Harbor itself, one of the world's most beautiful natural harbors. Riding the Star Ferry across its waters takes only 10 minutes, yet offers views so striking that many travelers call it the best value in the city. If Manhattan has Central Park as its signature, then Hong Kong has its glowing sea of lights. So what would you choose? Watching the golden sunset from the harbor, or waiting until nightfall to see the city sparkle from the top of the peak? Eat like a local. From dim sum to Hong Kong milk tea. One pot of tea, 100 little dishes. That is dim sum, the heartbeat of Hong Kong's dining culture. In steamer baskets come har gow shrimp dumplings, siu mai pork dumplings, soft pork buns, and silky cheong fun rice rolls. It is not just a meal, it is a way of life, where families and friends gather around tea and conversation that can last for hours. Then there is roast goose, the pride of Cantonese cuisine, marinated with secret spices, air-dried, and roasted over charcoal until the skin is crisp and the meat tender. It is served in small slices with a sweet sauce and white rice. Some restaurants sell out before noon, and a few even hold Michelin stars despite being no more than a humble street shop. Street snacks add another layer. Curry fish balls are skewered, fried, and dipped in spicy curry sauce, eaten hot while wandering through neon alleys. And for dessert, the beloved egg tart, born from British influence but adapted to local tastes. Its golden crust and creamy custard filling melt in your mouth, best paired with a hot cup of milk tea. Hong Kong milk tea is in a class of its own. Unlike the sweet versions in Taiwan, this one is strong and slightly bitter, made from black tea blended with condensed milk. It is the perfect finish to a meal and a daily ritual for locals. Food here is like a bilingual language, speaking both East and West, comfort and innovation, all on the same plate. So tell me, which side are you on? Team hot egg tart fresh out of the oven, or team strong and creamy Hong Kong milk tea? Costs and practical tips for travelers. Traveling in Hong Kong is not cheap, but if you plan smartly, every dollar feels worth it. Accommodation ranges from $40 to $70 a night for a hostel or guest house, while a 4 or 5-star hotel in central areas can cost $250 to $400 per night. Meals are just as flexible. A bowl of noodles or a few dim sum plates at a local eatery might set you back $5 to $10, while a sit-down dinner at a mid-range restaurant runs closer to $20 or $40. Public transport is affordable and efficient with the Octopus card. And many of the best attractions, such as Victoria Peak trails, the Avenue of Stars, or night markets are free to enjoy. But there are things to watch out for. In traditional markets, vendors often quote tourists' inflated prices before offering a discount, so bargaining is expected. Some restaurants add hidden service charges or place appetizers on your table that you did not order, only to charge for them later. Taxi drivers can take longer routes if they think you are unfamiliar with the city, and public rules are strict. Eating or drinking on the MTR can result in a heavy fine, and so can littering or smoking in the wrong places. So if you want your trip to feel like a good investment rather than a shock to the wallet, remember these simple tips. Now here is a question for you. Would you like me to put together a sample 48-hour itinerary in Hong Kong for under $200, showing exactly how to stretch your budget without missing the highlights? Hong Kong is a place where even a wooden drawer can become a home. Yet the entire city runs with the precision of a Swiss watch. It is a land of contradictions, and that is exactly what makes it unforgettable. So tell me, what surprised you the most? Was it the Coffin homes, the deep superstitions hidden among the skyscrapers, or the neon nights that never seem to end? And if you enjoyed this journey, get ready for the next one. Coming up, we will explore Macau. Is it the Las Vegas of East Asia, or a living museum of Portuguese heritage? If you liked this video, remember to hit like, drop a comment to share your own thoughts about Hong Kong, and subscribe so you will not miss the adventures still to come.